In this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how to set up the Jetduino on a Jetson TK1 and then use it to control some digital I/O lines using both the Jetson GPIOs and the Arduino. Version 1 of the Jetduino is shown here. I'm currently waiting for boards for the next version to arrive, but for what we're doing today, there will be very little difference. As you can see, the Jetduino mounts above the Jetson and it has separate connector card that fits into the J3A 2mm headers. Then it uses a Raspberry Pi GPIO ribbon cable to connect the Jetson to the Jetduino. It also has holes for mounting a 2.5-inch hard drive on the bottom left side, and on the right side it has a built-in shield for the Arduino Do. You connect the Do to the Jetduino using the pins on the bottom. The shield performs level shifting for the Do and provides numerous Grove and RobotGeek connectors to make it very easy to interface to sensors and motor modules. The Arduino is connected to the Jetson using the Gen 2 I2C lines. This gives you the ability to control and monitor what is happening on the Arduino from the Jetson. I currently have interfaces available using Python or C, but I plan to add others later. This is modeled on the Grove Pi from Dexter Industries, and the source code for the Jetduino is from a fork of the Grove Pi source that I modified to work on the Jetson instead of the Raspberry Pi. So let's start the installation. The Jetson I'm using is a vanilla install of the 21.4 Tegra kernel with just a few tweaks applied to it. The first thing you'll need to do to get the Jetduino set up is to clone the repo. So if you don't already have Git installed, we need to do that first. Let's open a terminal and install Git. Alright, once that's finished, then let's clone the Jetduino repo. Now that we have the repo, let's install the Jetduino software. In your terminal, move to the script folder of the repo, and then run the install shell script as the root user. This will download and install some dependencies and place the Jetduino Python libraries where they can be used system-wide. The dependencies include some Python tools for serial, I2C, and GPIO signals. If you already have them installed, then it should just skip over them. When the script is finished, you can test that it worked by starting Python as a root user and seeing if you can import the Jetduino module. Cool! Next, you need to upload the firmware onto the Arduino. Please note that you must use the latest Arduino IDE version 1.6.7 or greater. There's a bug in the Do's I2C code that does not handle repeated start sequences correctly for SMBus. It took me a few days of work to figure that out. It was fixed in the latest version. I don't yet have the latest IDE working on the Jetson, so I suggest you using a non-ARM version of Ubuntu or a Windows version to upload the firmware. Once you've uploaded the firmware, the Jetduino is set up, and we can proceed to part 2 of this tutorial showing how to control the digital I/O lines.